Hi everyone, Jus4SweetZ here. So I got a request from a YouTube subscriber that she wanted to see more cookies in a jar, and so I told her that I would do some of those coming up here shortly, and I'm going to share one with you today, and I'll probably have a few more of those coming up with the holidays, along with some craft ideas and some appetizer and food ideas. So today's cookie in a jar is going to be a cinnamon oatmeal craisin cookie, and it'll be nice and festive and pretty. So let's go ahead and get started. We have all the ingredients that we need, and I purchased some cinnamon chips at the local grocery store, and you don't always find these, but around this time of year you can usually find them. And these are made by Hershey's, so you can just go and find some cinnamon chips. You can find other brands if you want. And so I thought that would be nice and festive. Who doesn't love cinnamon this time of year? So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to start with our flour, and we have our funnel, and we need, that's the bad thing about the jars, is I have to pour. So let me grab a bowl here. And we are going to do, we need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. If I put it on the plate, see, then it catches what drops, because I always drop something. And I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring, so I'm going to need 3 of these. So we need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I kind of just level it out, shake it out. And put that in there, and this is basically just that layering effect. Okay, so 3 of those, and that makes our, I need to use my funnel over here to funnel this back into the jar, because we'll need to use it for the other ingredients as well. Okay, so we have our 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and you want to make sure that you shake this down just like that. And you like to make it be pretty and have that layering effect. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and add the baking soda to this, because that will mix right in with the flour. So we need a teaspoon of baking soda. I don't know how my, okay, there we go, much better. All right, we have a teaspoon of baking soda, and then we need a teaspoon of salt. Actually, it's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, so we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to this. Then what we want to do is we want to shake everything down, just like so. All right. Next to this, we are going to add the brown sugar, and we need 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And I use the light brown, but if you want to use the dark brown, it just has more of a molasses content. You can use that as well. All right, so I pack it down, and I just kind of crumble it in there, because I'm going to go in and pat it down in there. Remember, we're layering, and we need to make sure everything fits in this jar. All right. Okay, we have our cup of brown sugar, and if you look at it right now, it doesn't look like we're going to get everything to fit, does it? But we are sure going to make it fit. I have this little device that I got through Pampered Chef, and it's to push down dough and everything, and it works perfect because it fits right in the jar. Let's take that funnel out. And we're going to press everything way, way down and pack it as good as we can. So I just go around. Now, if you have a wide mouth jar, you can use your fist or your hands. I don't have any wide mouth jars right now, so this is what I use in place of my hands to get in there and really, really pat that down. And it does a great job. And I mean, you can buy these at some stores during the holidays, but it seems like they've been made for a year. But the one thing you can see out of them is that they are really, really packed in there. These make a great neighbor or holiday gift for your family, friends, like I said, neighbors, co-workers. People love to get this kind of stuff. I'll probably be doing some of this for my clients. I usually bake for them, but I thought maybe this year I'd do something different. Okay, so there's our brown sugar. To the brown sugar, we want to add our granulated sugar. And we need approximately 1/3 to 1/2 cup. So I'm going to just kind of fill it, my 1/2 cup almost to the top, but not quite. And just kind of pour it in there. All right. Add it to our little ingredients here and see the layering effect that's going on. Now I've got the hiccups, oh no. Okay. The next thing we want to add is we want to add our oatmeal. And we need approximately 2 cups of oatmeal. So it says 2.5. I'm going to use 2, which is basically 4 of these, because I need to make sure that everything fits in here. We got to make sure our ingredients fit, right? Ooh, that's why there's a plate there. I don't know if these are going to fit in this jar, honestly. I'm going to actually cut this down to 1.5 cups of oatmeal and see if I can still get everything to fit, because I don't know if I can. We might actually have to, we're just going to press that in there, but we might actually have to take some of that out. So I'm going to say add just 1 cup of oatmeal, because if you're using this size jar, it's not going to fit. So I'm adding 1 cup of oatmeal instead of 1.5 cups. Okay. And press that down. You're still going to get a nice tasting cookie out of this, because you're going to be adding the butter and the vanilla and the eggs. So it doesn't have to be overly oatmeal-y. You just want to make sure you're able to fit all those ingredients in there. And we still have 2 more to put in. So, all right. You can even cut your flour down by a little bit if you want to. So cut the flour and the brown sugar down a little bit if you need to. But let's go ahead and add our craisins. And our craisins are basically going to give it some color. And there doesn't have to be a whole ton of them, because it's going to have the craisins and the cinnamon chips in there. And basically it's for color and some flavor. And someone's going to make these and they're going to think they're wonderful, and if they want to add more ingredients to them, they will. So it's not like we're messing things up. I don't think you can mess them up. Everybody kind of alters their own recipes anyway, right? Okay, so we're going to add some more craisins into there. And you can use raisins in place of craisins if you want to. I don't have any raisins, but I do love the color of the craisins because they're so red, and they just make it look even more Christmassy and stand out. All right, so I'm going to press these down as much as I can, and the last ingredient we have is our cinnamon chips. Now, another thing, if you want to use a bigger jar, I'm going to give you the full recipe and then the recipe I put in this jar. So if you want to use a larger jar, you can, and you can add more ingredients like pecans or walnuts or whatever. I tend to not make a lot of recipes with nuts because so many people don't like them or they're allergic to them. So, all right, so to this, we're going to add approximately, look at the nice brown color of the cinnamon chips. Definitely smells cinnamony. We're adding 1/2 cup of our cinnamon chips. So out of 1 bag of cinnamon chips, you could probably get 3 jars if you do the recipe that I just did. Okay, so we're going to press that down a tad. And like I said, you can add pecans or walnuts to this. Even almonds would be good in this. Okay, so there they are. There is our oatmeal cinnamon craisin cookie. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add our lid. And I have a red, I don't have any fabric, so I am actually going to use my red cupcake liner trick. And we are going to put a red cupcake liner on top, and then I will just add some beautiful Christmas ribbon to that. And you'll have to go back and check out some of my other cookies in a jar videos and how I do the tags. I'm not going to do the tags this morning. This is basically just the recipe. But get a really cute gift tag with some Christmas stickers and put it around the top, and that's where you're going to write what you do with the rest, you know, what else you add. So anyway, in this jar, I believe is a it's not a pint. It might be a pint. I had it sitting over here, so I didn't even measure it, but I want to say it's a pint. But somebody can correct me out there if they're watching. I've made these in the past, so I'm not good with measuring my jars. I just kind of grab the size jar that I need. But you can use larger jars, a quart. This could be a quart, but just use whatever size jar you feel is fit. Just the smaller ones don't work with this. Okay, so what I added to this is I added 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and that's on the bottom. And then to that I added 1 cup of packed brown sugar, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of oatmeal, and it's not the quick oats, but the rolling oats. I added I just kind of sprinkled them in there, but I would say approximately 1/2 cup of craisins. You want to make sure that you press everything down. And then to the top of that, we added 1/2 cup of cinnamon chips. Now, some other ingredients that you could add if you use a larger jar are, you could add chocolate chips with this because chocolate and cinnamon go really well together. You could add raisins instead of craisins. You could add walnuts, or you could add pecans. So, and you can put that all in a larger jar, and that would make a wonderful, like, yummy cookie all in one with all those beautiful ingredients. So, if you want to make it in a larger jar and you want to make, like, a full recipe, like, you know, just one big jar, I would say your flour and your sugar measurements are exactly the same. You want to increase your oatmeal to 1.5 cups. You're going to add probably close to 3/4 cup of the craisins or raisins, and you will add about 1 cup of the cinnamon chips, and then add your nuts and everything to that if you want to. So there is our layered cinnamon craisin cookie in a jar, and what you're going to do is you're going to add a tag to this, and I use Christmas stickers or whatever, and you can get the tags at your local craft store, or you can make them at home if you want to. And on that you're going to put oatmeal cinnamon craisin cookie, and you are on the other side of that tag. You're going to want to put oven 350 degrees, add 1 cup softened unsalted butter, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract to contents in the jar. Mix, bake on an ungreased cookie sheet for 10 to 12 minutes. And that's it. That's all you have to put on the other side. Add that in there, tie it to it, put a beautiful Christmas ribbon. I'm going to add actually a beautiful Christmas ribbon around this. I have some over here. But I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going to add this Christmas ribbon to it. So, and I got this at the local dollar store. So I'm going to add my ribbon to it after I get my tag on there. And there you go. You have a beautiful another cookie in a jar here. And if you have any questions, I know I kind of sputtered through this one. I'm kind of thinking of other things as I'm doing this as well, so I apologize. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, or leave comments in the comment section. If you have any suggestions on ways that I could alter this cookie recipe, I'd love to hear that as well. And go ahead and go to my Facebook page, Jus4SweetZ, or go to my Facebook page and ask to be a member of Recipe Book so that you can share some of your recipes and ideas with us. And until next time, next video, we have some more Christmas stuff coming up, so stay tuned. God bless.